Hi, I'm Caitlin E, and welcome to the Lit Review. Today, as you can see by the back here, it's March LitLand. So LitLand is my TBR game, loosely based off of Candyland, where I pick 5 cards to move across the board, and I cannot buy books until I reach a book haul. So we're doing okay. We're somewhere like right over here, I think, and we're getting closer to a book haul. I don't want to proclaim that we will get one because that feels like jinxing things, but we're getting close, so hopefully that will happen sometime soon. But yeah, this is how I pick my books every month for my TBRs. So this month I won't be taking any punishments, though I am barreling towards a bit of a crisis here because I had 7 books I needed to read courtesy of February's LitLand, plus 1 rollover. My rollover book was Well of Ascension. I did finish that. We're good here. And then the other 7 books I was supposed to read, I did some of them. Like, I definitely read these 3, these small 3. I managed the small ones. And then I actually DNF'd this one and swapped it. I do allow for swaps as long as I replace it with a book that would fulfill the original prompt. So I swapped it with y'all's pick for Buzzword-a-thon in February. I have like a little bit left to go in this, but I'm confident in finishing it before the end of February, so we're gonna call this good. So I actually finished 5 of the books I was supposed to read. However, these 3 I'm not done with yet, and I don't think I'm going to be able to finish them. I am going to be able to safely roll them over into March, but that's 3 books, so I feel like we're kind of cruising towards a bit of a punishment. I am going to desperately try to make sure that doesn't happen in April, but so far we will be rolling over these 3. So in addition to having those 3 books roll over that I mentioned, I'm participating in just a foolish amount of stuff for March. There is the Historical Hellions book club, which I've been keeping up with, so I will be reading Once and Always by Judith McNaught, if I can make time for it. Then there is a really exciting Taylor Swift themed readathon called 'Tis the Damn Readathon that I'm going to be hoping to participate in, and that's for the whole of March, so you'll see some content from me there. I'd also like to participate in the Spring Into Reading-a-thon, which is a week-long readathon this time. And then I, as always, would like to be doing the Buzzword-a-thon with you because that's been a lot of fun these last couple of months. So if you're interested in helping me pick my Buzzword-a-thon for March, the theme is time. So a book with the word time somewhere in the title. Whew, okay. And as always, I really like to say a couple of thank yous. One to Becca from Becca and the Books, and another to Cody from Cody's Book Corner. These are the 2 people that have constantly inspired me with their TBR game. I found so many other amazing TBR games to be inspired by, but like they're to me the people that got me so hyped about doing it for myself. Okay, so that's all the updates I have for you. I am a mad woman who's convinced that she's going to participate in all these things and read 3 extra books with however the heck many books we pull. So let's see just how optimistic I think I am this month. I also think it's worth mentioning that I have 3 physical books out from the library right now, and I am going to try to squeeze these in wherever I can, if I can. I technically have an ebook out from the library as well, and that is White Rage by Carol Anderson. The other books I have are Ghostland and American History of Haunted Places by Colin Dickey. I have Never Always Sometimes by Adi Al-Sad. It's either Al-Sad or Al-Said, so one or the other, I'll look into it. And then this chunky book, I'm somehow going to try to foist upon myself. It's Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurdy, so we'll see if we can get those in, but before we do that, we gotta roll the thing, so let's do that. So here were our 5 pulls from February. Wilbur left us off right there on a challenge card space. So we have a new deck, or not new deck, it was shuffled in September, but these are cards we haven't pulled. These are challenge squares, these are stuck squares, and these over here are the used ones we have. So, you know, this is where we were at the end of February. Let's see where we end up in March. Oh, Okay, so with one green historical, I feel like I just opted myself into that by telling you all about my library books. I think we're gonna go with Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. Sorry, I'm filming this at night, so my ring light is like extra flashy. This hefty tome is a Western. I know next to nothing about it except that it was highly recommended to me when I did a video that I'm trying to finally film in April. So basically, many months ago, I filmed a video about like love to, loathe to, things that I really love about a book and things that I really don't. And I just kept putting off actually doing that video in part because of this book, because I really don't like Westerns. But I promised to try them out, and this was y'all's like biggest recommendation for good Westerns. Y'all did not tell me that this was like over 800, almost 900 pages. So we're gonna try, and hopefully I can actually do the follow-up to that video sometime in like April, because I have a bunch of other books to read. But we gotta take out this bad boy first. I know next to nothing about it except that it is considered by many of you in particular to be the best Western you've ever read. So that is all I know, and that's all I'm gonna pass on, because I kind of want to go in with very minimal information in the hopes that I will be pleasantly surprised by it. So I know I usually like to give y'all a summary, but this time you're not getting that much from me. So sorry. Pull number 2. Okay, you know I love a good YA moment. This is actually working out pretty great because one of the books that I have out from the library is a YA title. So I think we can slot that in reasonably well. And that would be Never Always Sometimes by Adi Al-Saad. Again, I'll look into it. But it's in comparison to Lonesome Dove, it's quite slim. So this one is a contemporary YA set in high school with two best friends who had a bunch of rule sets for each other into how to survive high school. And chief among those rules was never fall for your best friend. And of course, because they made that rule, they're best friends who are going to totally fall for one another. So it's about their kind of outlook and worldview on how to survive high school, and them resisting the temptation between one another and the crush of it all. So it sounds really sweet, sounds really easy to read, and like just a really fun, quick read, which I think fits in perfectly, not only because it's a YA, but because I have a lot of stuff to read this month. So it's pull number 2, and I'm already like, I have too much to read. I did this to myself. Don't pity me. I did this to me. Okay, pull number 3. Ooh. So this is great. We're gonna just knock out my library list that I told you about at the beginning. So blue is nonfiction, one blue is nonfiction, and we're also like eking out some progress on the board here, but I have 2 options for this, and let me talk you through it. So I have Ghostland in physical form, and this is, well, it's about ghosts. It's about the American history of haunting. A really good friend from work recommended this to me. It's just like a fun, kitschy read. Would love to be able to read this, but I have another nonfiction out from the library on ebook that I want to prioritize. So unless I get, maybe if I get another blue, I'll pop this in to like knock out the library list entirely. That would feel really good. But I am going to go with my official pick. It's going to be, I'll put the cover here, White Rage by Carol Anderson. This is something I've been on the waitlist for forever at my local library. So I want to read it quickly. It'll probably be the first thing I read in March because I want to pass it on to somebody else who will hopefully enjoy the heck out of it. And so again, I don't know terribly much about White Rage. It was something I wanted to read last year, but it was so popular at their library that was just not a feasible option for me. So now that it is, I'm going to make space for it. It is a kind of like another of the major like anti-racism resources that I found, and I'm really glad to be able to finally get to it. So I'm going to prioritize that. And yeah, hopefully we get another nonfiction so I could also read some nonfiction about ghosts. But let's see. Pull number 4. Okay, 1 green. Not too shabby. I will take this. I'm also very much appreciating that we have not doubled the entire game. So even if we get a double next time, that's fine. But 1 green, historical. Okay, since the first historical was just like something I'm anticipating being a disaster, I'm gonna like fudge this a little bit and pick a historical romance, since historical is still in that genre description. So I'm gonna pick An Extraordinary Union by Alyssa Cole. This is a historical romance set during the Civil War era, where our main character, Elle, is a former slave who goes back undercover to get information to help the Union. Our main character is also kind of a spy. He's working for the Pinkerton Detective Agency, and he falls for her as he encounters her on his mission. So it's like 2 spies or 2 detective types falling in love. Sounds really great. I actually heard really good things about this from Jess from Peace Love Books XO. I've heard really good things from this from a bunch of other folks as well. But she mentioned it recently in a unique historical romance video, I think. But it's, you know, definitely historical, Civil War setting, like we're really getting into it. And I'm gonna just call this a historical, even though it's also a romance. Okay, let's see, pull number 5? We're on pull number 5, okay. Okay, well, we didn't make a ton of progress, but we didn't get sent back anywhere either, so I'll take it. Ooh, okay. Gosh, 1 red is 1 romance. I just went on this whole spiel about how I wanted to read more romance, and yeah, well, okay, we're doing 2 of these. I'm not changing the Alyssa Cole pick, though. So 1 romance. You know what? Okay, I already know what this is going to be, because I did promise when I did my video with all of the gifts that y'all gave for my birthday, which again, thank you so much to those who gifted. I promised I would read at least 1 of those a month, and there's a romance pick from that video that I am very excited to get to. Easy, easy, even though this is not a tiny book. Okay, so for the 1 romance pick, we are gonna do Restless Slumber by KJ Sutton. And this was a gift from a subscriber, Dawn, so thank you again, Dawn, for the lovely gift. So happy to be able to read this this month. And oh, this cover. This is a nice cover. So this is book 2 in a series, and I don't want to say too much about what the synopsis is telling me in the back, so I will tell you a little bit about my reading experience with book 1. So in book 1, we meet Fortuna Sworn, and Fortuna is a nightmare. She's a very rare type of paranormal creature in the world that she inhabits. People are aware of most types of creatures. Nightmares have been hunted because allegedly if you eat the heart of a nightmare, you will have no more fear, because nightmares in their power is to kind of make you see or experience your deepest fears. Her brother has been missing for I think like a year, 2 years, something like that, and one day she meets a handsome, mysterious fae who tells her that he knows where her brother is, but in order for him to share that information, Fortuna has to marry him. And so, willing to risk it all for her brother, she agrees to that bargain and is taken to the Fae Kingdom underground. And a whole mess of stuff happens in book 1. It is a very, like, book 1 was kind of like a slow burn, angsty romance, and there was a lot of, like, political intrigue and drama and power grappling, which was really cool to read about. I really enjoyed KJ Sutton's take on some of the Fae lore as somebody who really likes Fae stories. She is giving it a whole bunch of depth and like history that is original to her series as far as I know. So I'm excited to see where that goes in book 2. Oh, you can tell hopefully from the cover that there's like some drama gonna happen in here. So actually this is going to be a really fun read, and I'm glad to add this to my TBR. I have 5 books to read, which is, you know, not terribly terrible until you consider that one of them is like 900 pages and is a Western. So these 4 physical books plus White Rage by Carol Anderson, and so these are my official TBR for March. Additionally, I have to finish these 3 books, which is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, Always and Forever Laura Jean by Jenny Han, and Enchantée by Gita Trellis. So if I don't finish those 3 books next month, I will have to take a punishment. But because apparently I have no chill, I have another book to potentially add to this. I'm participating in Buzzword-a-thon because it's like fun for me. I love a good little challenge. It's never going to create harm for me or create a punishment for me in LitLand if I don't finish a Buzzword-a-thon pick. I've been able to successfully do them in addition to my TBR so far, so we're just going to keep going with that. And part of the reason I like to do it this way is because I like getting y'all's input and having a little interactive experience with you. So what I'm going to do is what I did last month, where I'm going to give you like a 5-word synopsis or my best attempt at a 5-word summary on each of these books that fit the theme for March, which is time. So any book with time in the cover. And I have a lot of those because, as I've mentioned many a time before, time travel is one of my favorite genre conventions. Like, I just love it. So I have a lot of books with time in the cover, so I narrowed it down to 3. I always like to include a romance. Y'all should never feel pressured to choose it for me because I enjoy romance, but I'm including one because I enjoy romance, so it's a thing. And on that note, this is Runaway Time by Deborah Gordon. Very basic cover, but the step back is lovely. So this one, let's see, 5-word summary. Oh god, I'm terrible at these. Sexy post-Civil War travel. I tried to do it in 5. I think I probably needed 6. It's a time travel novel. It's romance. Option 1. The next pick for March's time theme for Buzzword-a-thon is The Psychology of Time Travel by Kate Mascarenhas. So let me see what 5 words I could come up with for this. So this isn't so much going to be a sentence as just a collection of words as I try to summarize things. Female scientists, skullduggery, and murder. That's where we're at. So option 2. And this one is got time in the title but does not involve time travel, and that is Time's Convert by Deborah Harkness. Vampire fights tradition for love. I actually did okay on that one. Okay, option 3. So please let me know down in the comments below what you think I should read for March's Buzzword-a-thon, which again is time. So your options are Deborah Gordon's Runaway Time, Kate Mascarenhas' The Psychology of Time Travel, and Deborah Harkness's Time's Convert. So let me know down in the comments below which one sounds most interesting to you. I can't believe I'm saying this to you because I have said to you all video about how much stuff I have to read, and I'm participating in a lot of extra stuff because why not? But would any of you be interested in me starting a readathon that is kind of in the style of Buzzword-a-thon, where it's a monthly kind of choose your own way through it? Because I have an idea for one, but I just don't know if there's too many out there. Is it too much? Like, just let me know also down in the comments if you don't have strong feelings about which of these Buzzword-a-thon books I should read. Let me know. Let me know if you would be interested in a different one from me. Okay. That is my TBR for March. It's a little hefty, but I'm optimistic that we can get through at least a chunk of them and hopefully avoid a punishment. So thank you for spending time with me. I hope you have a fantastic reading day. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more from me or this channel, and I'll see you on the next one.